Hey, happy afternoon, everybody. Good day. It is Monday. This is Just Parlays with Chris King. I'm the guy just along for the ride. I'm Scott Steehn, your host. I am the lead handicapper at WHINERS.com. Chris, we've been hearing all week about the conspiracy theory that the NBA just wanted to get those game sevens for all the viewers and find out what a great product they had, and everybody would be just compelled to watch that dramatic game seven. And if that's what they were aiming towards and wanted everybody tuned in last night, holy shit, did that plan go awry?
Yeah, as Ron Burgundy would say, that escalated quickly.
It did escalate quickly. My goodness, we knew this Milwaukee team was built around one guy, but never did we see it more in effect than last night. As Giannis did his thing, had a fine game.
Yep.
And who else had a good game?
For the Bucks, nobody.
Nobody.
The Water Boy. I'm sure he served everybody timely.
Giannis had 25 points, 20 rebounds, 9 assists.
I'm impressed that he found 9 people to pass it to that he could get an assist out of.
No kidding. Holiday had 21. Lopez had 15, and that is Portis had 10. Boy, that was a quiet 10.
Yeah, I wonder how many of those came late when the game was already decided. Because
just junk. So
I mean, Grayson Allen did nothing. Wesley Matthews showed why he shouldn't be in a starting lineup.
Brutal, just absolutely brutal, man.
And it showed exactly why Milwaukee needed Chris Middleton.
Yeah. Every game it became more apparent that Middleton loss.
I mean, 4 of 33 from 3-point range.
Brutal. Can't win in today's NBA. Obviously, I mean you can't win shooting 12% but I mean you really can't win shooting 25%. You could be twice as good as that and still probably not going to win that game, as they lose that one by 28, and that was just a warm up for the actual blowout. You watch that game and you go, well, at least we've got one good game to watch. And
that game was over before the opening tip.
The bus should have just kept driving. It really should have. They put up 27 points, did the Phoenix Suns, in the first half. By the way, shout out to Ryan Page. Hey, Ryan, what's up, man? Hope you're having a good Monday so far. 27 points, buddy. 17 in the first quarter. You're thinking, well, they can't possibly do worse than that. They're down 10, but they can rally a little bit. Then the Suns redoubled their efforts, came out and put up how many points in the second quarter?
10.
10 points.
Yeah, it was a 7-point game with 10-14 to go in the half, and then they got outscored 30-7 the rest of the half.
Yep, brutal.
And at that point, you could, turn the lights out.
Oh yeah, you're down 30 at halftime. You ain't coming back. It's over.
Yeah, when you're down by more points than you scored in the first half, that's usually not a good sign.
Ooh, more than doubled up. I hadn't even thought about it in that context. Yes, but 57-27 was the score, so you were more than doubled. Absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. Now, if you're a hockey fan, made up for it.
There's some good stuff on the ice.
Had 2 very good hockey games. Both of them went to overtime. That's really all you can ask, right, buddy? The New York Islanders, after winning the first one, losing 3 straight, and then
the Rangers.
The Rangers. Sorry, the Islanders. I'm just dreaming on.
It's okay.
The Rangers winning the first one, losing 3 straight, came back to win 3 straight. So I didn't really have a dog in that fight, but it was entertaining to watch. I know Richel's roommate had the Rangers, so I guess we're all happy for him.
Yeah, I had picked the Rangers. I had to write that game up. I had taken the Rangers. I just thought that, I wasn't sure if Jerry and Raquel and Crosby were all going to play. They did. But it's tough to come back after you hadn't played in like a month.
Yep. Yeah, especially for a game 7 like that on the road for sure. Ryan Page, by the way, had a nice 3-teamer this weekend. Chris had the Angels, Tigers, and Flames 18 hundo.
We'll take a cut of that because that's what we do here.
That's not what we do at all, Chris. That's another show you're thinking of. We are happy to provide this information. And, if you want to pay for it, we do have that option available. We have some premium picks available. How'd your picks do this weekend, bud? I know you had a fantastic week, right?
Saturday and Sunday were kind of a wash, but I mean, Friday night we had a 6-teamer with, let me see, I've got it here. I had the Rangers and Penguins going over 6.5. That was that 5-3 game. I had the Stars winning game 6. They were an underdog. I had the Tigers on the run line. I picked the Reds because they were playing Pittsburgh. and we'll get to that in a minute too. And then I had the Bucks and Celtics going under, and the Grizzlies and Warriors staying under on Friday. So it would have turned $100 into 10,615 and change.
10-6. So that's a plus 106 parlay, is what you're saying there?
Yeah,
that's a solid play. That caps off a hell of a week, buddy.
Yeah, it was a good week. It was about time we had one of those break our way, because normally we'll get 4 or 5 out of them, and then somebody will screw it up.
Playing parlays is a high variance activity.
This is true.
You're down, and all of a sudden it's a monster. Super Sly in the house. Good day to Super Sly. Unknown entity is here. Says, let's go, baby. Hey,
you know who I felt bad for yesterday in hockey, Scott, was Jake Ottinger, because, I mean, he stood on his head that entire series for Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
He made 64 saves yesterday, only to lose 3-2 in overtime.
Absolutely brutal. No help at all. Well, I was going to say no help from the offense, but no help from the defense either. If you're facing 64 shots, what the hell are your defensemen doing?
Yeah, I mean, if you look in the series, he had a 182 goals against and a 954 save percentage,
and
lost. It went 3-4.
Yeah, brutal. Just absolutely brutal. We do want to remind everybody, we say we don't ask for anything, and that's a lie. We do ask for something, and we ask for people to give us a thumbs up. We ask us to like the videos that you're seeing. We're also available on podcast form. Make sure you rate and review over there. Give us 5 stars, 7 hammers, 19 thumbs, whatever it lets you do. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to not only the Winners and Whiners YouTube channel, but the Max Wagers Network YouTube channel as well, where you can find great content basically all afternoon, Chris, starting at noon with Midday Money, Sean Higgs, Allie Burns, the Plus Money Honey, giving everybody morning wood at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock it's you and me, 3 o'clock it's me and Scott, 4 o'clock Sean Miller talking about the beautiful game, soccer from around the world.
I was waiting for you to say 4 o'clock is not me, but
It's not me. That's right. I get an hour off now. And of course, wrapping it all up at 5 p.m. Eastern time is Nick and Tim Earl, along with Detroit Lenny, doing Game Time Decision. So,
and speaking of the weekend, though, Scott, Michael's saying that Christopher Bell came through him as a dark horse pick because he thought Toyotas would run well, but they exceeded expectations. You had a good win on at your home speedway there yesterday.
I did a little home cooking, and he finally broke through after I don't know whatever 29 attempts or how many times he had run it, but it was
27, I think it was.
Kurt Busch, nice payout for me at plus 4,000. Like it was like hitting one of your parlays, buddy. So
let's not go that far. You only had to win one.
It thrust me into the point lead, but I'm still behind as far as money goes. But I am in positive territory now as far as money goes. So
yeah, and you stiffed me on 20 points again. So I expect to see that corrected.
I tried. You caught it. It's all right.
And Michael said it's 6:16, 22 already. He went to the 5:16 video and came across this.
I thought we got those all changed out. If it's not, we will.
We'll blame Jim because it's his fault because he set all the studios up.
It's like being married, Chris. You start bitching about things, you get to do them yourself. You start bitching about how your laundry comes out or what the kitchen looks like. Guess what? You got yourself a new fucking job. So
I have those jobs anyway. So
I'm not gonna bitch about Jim setting up our week, our subject matter and everything, our subject lines and content for the week. I appreciate him doing it. I think he does a great job. It's Chris's opinion is solely his own.
Well, I'm entitled. I'm the host.
Just fucking wish he could get it right. No.
And Ryan wants to know what we think about the Pirates winning yesterday despite getting no hits.
Well, I know we're going to talk about that on the next show. It even has its own segment, but it's
what does that call the cops?
No, it's not called the cops. It's even worse than that. But
is it called "We Really Suck at Baseball"?
Something like that. Yeah, that could only happen. Well, I was going to say it could only happen to Pittsburgh, but no, it could happen to the Reds as well. But
that's why I said on Twitter yesterday. I said the Reds out Pittsburgh to the Pirates.
Oh, nicely done. Nicely done indeed, my friend.
Because that's basically what because like you said, you expect those things to happen to Pittsburgh.
Well, asking for our opinion, It's ridiculous. I don't know. What can you say, Chris?
Only the 6th time since 1900 that a team had been no hit and won. First time since I think it was it 1992 was it? Can't remember. But I know who better could it happen to than Hunter Green, right? We bag on him all the time about how he gives up 3,612 homers in 5 innings. Then he comes out and throws a no-hit ball for 7 frames and gets in trouble because he walks a couple guys. They pull him out. Art Warren walks a guy, and then they give up a fielder's choice that, Brian Hayes beat out.
Right. Yep. And that's basically it. And that's how that was the sequence. Walk, bring in Warren, walk, and fielder's choice. So 3 walks, fielder's choice. That's your ball game. And the amazing part about that is there was no errors in that game. You could usually, look at a guy that maybe walked and they had a 3-base error or something, and he scored on the little league triple, as it were. But that wasn't the case. It was 3 walks and a fielder's choice that Brian Hayes barely beat out at first base.
First team since the Dodgers in 2008 to win without a hit when they were held hitless by the all-star duo of Jared Weaver and Jose Arredondo.
Nice. There should be a rule. You have to get at least 1 hit to win a game. I don't hate that. Why not?
The other teams that have that happen, it happened to the Reds before. They did it back in 1964 against the Houston Colt 45s. And no, Billy D. Williams wasn't on a street corner drinking it out of a paper bag.
Stole my Billy D. Williams joke. Damn it, Chris. Damn it.
It was Ken Johnson versus Joe Nuxhall.
Hey, I have to read this because it's something I haven't been able to read all year long. Michael Doe says, "Hey, Scott, great job on NASCAR picks." Literally have not got to say that all season. Thank you, Michael. We keep saying,
we all have a win. So, I mean, there's that.
Yep. That's right. I was the last one to break through. I kept waiting for Kurt Busch to break, and he was battling with Larson. And I expected Larson to take care of business. And of course, Larson ran into the wall there with about 5 laps left or whatever. So
I expected Keselowski to run some people into the wall, but he didn't. I was kind of disappointed.
I should have gone. I should have gone to the race. Instead, I ended up messing around with the kids. I got up and it was like rainy and cold. I'm like, I'm not going to go out there and fight this. And then about the time I made that decision, it just turned beautiful. It was just, 70 degrees and sunny. I'm like, okay, I'm an idiot. So thanks, Michael. Appreciate the kind words. Michael's on the Nerfy tonight, buddy. You got Detroit, Tampa Bay Nerfy. You play any Nerfies?
I have one, but it's not Detroit, Tampa Bay. It's the Mariners and Blue Jays.
Mariners and Blue Jays, don't hate that. What's the pitching matchup in Detroit, Tampa Bay?
Fado and
the Klubs and the Klubs. Who do you got? You say Kluber,
right? Yeah, Kluber's going for the Rays.
Okay, yeah. I thought you said something else.
No, Fader and Klubat.
Okay.
But no, I've got Flexen and Kikuchi. They both only given up 1 run in the first inning this season in 6 starts.
Boy, that's astounding.
I know, that's what I thought. I was going to go with the Braves and Brewers, and I looked and I said, oh, shit, Freddie Peralta's given up 10 runs in the first. No.
Not ideal. Not ideal at all. Hey, by the way, guys, don't forget to check out. We got the great deal still going on over there at Caesars. Up to $1,100 in bet insurance for your first bet, your first deposit. Make your first play your best play, Chris. If you got something that's been cooking around in your brain and your
hopefully you didn't waste it on the Suns yesterday.
Oh Jesus, that was my play of the day. I don't even want to talk about that.
Well, I mean, in theory, it was a good pick. I mean, Phoenix had played well at home in the series. They had won all 3 games. Yeah. Their offense had been good at home compared down the road.
I know the case I laid out. It was a damn good one.
Well, there you go.
The Suns apparently not big fans of the show because they did not take any of that to heed whatsoever, as we end up losing that pick by 39.5 points, Chris.
It was close.
It's a hard time for me to sit here and go, yeah, it was a great pick, but we just got snipped there at the end.
Well, I mean,
so yeah,
all we can do is give the information that we have. We can't play the game for them.
Well, they probably wouldn't want that either. So, I don't think that's the solution, my friend. I think it's Chris Middleton, not Chris King. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, you never know.
Hey, if you want to do that Caesars thing, which you should do, you got to be in a state with Caesars. By the way, Kansas, the state next to me, just passed sports betting.
And the state Scott's in still does not have it.
Still arguing about video lottery terminals. That's what it all came down to. And they were not able to get it past this session. So apparently now I have to drive about 10 miles and sit in the parking lot of Quick Trip and make all my bets.
So you can be like Mattress Mac.
Sure.
Because he crosses over to the Louisiana. He crosses the Texas-Louisiana border all the time to bet.
Yes, that's exactly what I was. I'll be the Mattress Mac of the Midwest. So,
and Reichel, you got to give him credit. He got out of his house the other day and bragged about how he went across the Verrazano Bridge, so you get $650 worth of free bets.
It's amazing. So if you wondered how much it takes to get Reichel out of his house, the answer is at least $650. Hopefully Caesars will be in Kansas soon. I'll be able to take advantage of that. And but it's fun. But for now, if you happen to be in one of the states that has Caesars right now today, you should go to the Caesars Sportsbook app, go to their website, put in the code ATS wins Caesars CZR ATS WINS. You can find that in the description of today's show. You can find it also the link to that promotion right there in the show description as well. And as we mentioned, Chris and I both have premium picks available. You can find those links in the description. And Chris has been killing it last week.
You had a good week last week too.
I had a good week. I did, but when you have a good week, it just buries the rest of us because you're hitting like 32-1 shots, and I'm over here grinding. I think I'm 17-7 over my last 24, 19-7 over my last 26, that's damn fine. I'm happy.
Yeah, that's a good percentage.
Clients are happy. Everybody's happy. We're all making money. But you're over here like, I have 100-1, and I had that one. And fuck you. Come on. So,
hey, you had it too because I sent it to you.
That's right. And I've been laying off. Number one, they were killing me. I'm not gonna lie. And
like I said, we had a bunch where we would get 5 out of 6, and somebody would screw it up.
And then I noticed I'd play like 2 days and not win, and I'd stop playing, and then they'd win. So I'm like, okay, for the good of Chris, I'm going to stop playing. I got to tell you, dude, I'm going to start playing again. You're just
right. So there you go. So make sure you don't pay attention.
You're running too good. Michael says, I remember watching the White Sox beat the Yankees in 1994 4-0 as the Yankees threw a no-hitter.
Andy Hawkins
had 3 errors in the 8th inning. I remember that game as well. I don't remember shit.
Andy Hawkins was on the mound.
Not to be confused with Sadie Hawkins. Did you ever get asked to a Sadie Hawkins dance?
No, they don't do those up north, really.
What?
But I know what they are.
You don't do Sadie Hawkins?
No. He's also not to be confused with LaTroy Hawkins, the former reliever and closer for the Twins, among other teams.
Not to be confused with him at all. All right, buddy. Let's do some work. What do you got for today?
Well, geez, there's so much to talk about since there's no basketball and no hockey.
Roll that beautiful bean footage. No basketball, no hockey tonight. Of course, we fire up tomorrow. With you got your Boston and you got your Miami there in the East, and of course you got your Phoenix. Oh, cross that shit out. You got the Dallas Mavs going up against
Golden State.
Now, are they back in our good graces now, buddy?
Who? Golden State?
Yeah, because we pretty much left them for dead. We did a whole show laying out why Golden State sucked.
I mean, I guess they're back. It's going to be interesting to see what Dallas can do against that small ball death lineup, because now all we're gonna see is everybody's going to shoot threes. Each team's going to shoot like 83s in that series every game, and the final score is either going to be 50-40 or it's going to be 170-162.
Good times, my friend.
It's like Paul Westphal all over again.
All right. So, what we got for today?
Well, like I said, I'm sure everybody's excited about the fact that all there is Major League Baseball to talk about. And we'll start with the Miami Marlins taking on the Washington Nationals. These records still did not update the way I had them.
We're tired of hearing that excuse. Handle your business. Let's go.
I learned it from you.
You didn't learn shit about computers from me, brother. I can tell you that much.
Washington 12-24. Surprisingly, they play better on the road. They're 7-9 compared to 5-15 at home. The Marlins 15-19. They're 7-9 at home. It's gonna be Aaron Sanchez once again, still not the judge from Chopped or MasterChef. You know who Aaron Sanchez is, don't you, Scott? You watch the Food Network.
I know that name. Yeah.
He's 2-2 now, despite that wonderful 758 earned run average. 1-4-21 whip, 3 walks, 10 strikeouts, and 19 innings. He's going to face Sandy Alcantara, 2-2, 274, a 1-2-1-9 whip, 19 walks, and 37 strikeouts. You can tell that Alcantara hasn't had Angel Hernandez behind the plate because I'm sure he wouldn't have 19 walks. The Nationals are a weird team. They're 13th in runs per game at 4.17. They lead the majors in runs per game on the road. They can't score worth a damn at home.
It's just bizarre.
I know. We were talking about it in the pre-show there. They're basically the anti-Colorado.
Not exactly a cavern there at home either.
No, Nationals Park isn't that big.
That's what I'm saying.
So I can't figure out why they're only averaging 2.8 runs a game at Nationals Park, but almost 6 on the road.
Well, some things are weird. We don't know why Waylon Chen had an 8-point ERA differential for an entire season a couple years back. But
well, that's true too.
It happens.
The Marlins, they actually average more runs at Lone Depot Park, and you talk about a cavern out there in left center field. There it is. I mean, they average 4.56 runs a game at home compared to 4.15 overall. The Marlins have won their last 5 against the NL East. They're 5-2 in their last 7 against starter with a whip above 1.3. The Nationals 2-8 in their last 10 against teams with a losing record. They're 0-6 when their opponent gives up 5 runs or more in their last game. Miami coming off a 7-3 loss in the rubber game with Milwaukee yesterday. The Nats 0-5 in their last 5 road games against teams with a losing record, and they are 3-8 in the last 11 meetings overall with the Marlins. I know Sanchez won his last start. That doesn't really mean a whole lot to me when you're looking at an ERA over 7. And he still gave up 3 runs on 6 hits and 5 1/3 in that outing against the Mets. I think he benefited because the Mets had the Nationals scored 5 in the bottom of the first. That was that start with McGill, where we talked about how McGill was pitching well and then he completely sucked.
Right. Yeah.
And now he's on the injured list.
Perfect.
So
wasn't his fault.
We really dropped the hammer on him. But I'm going to go with Alcantara here. I just think, he took a tough no decision in his last start. 7 innings, 1 run, 2 hits, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. In a game that the Marlins went on to win 11-3 with 8 in the 8th against the Diamondbacks. That's after the bullpen gave up 2 in the top of the inning to tie the game up. Alcantara, he's had 1 bad start. He gave up 5 runs in 5 2/3 against the Marlins against the Mariners on May 1st. Other than that, he hasn't given up more than 3 runs in any other start. He's got 1 start where he gave up 2 where he gave up 1, and 1 where he threw 8 shutout innings against the Cardinals in a game where, again, he got a no decision because St. Louis scored 2 in the 9th.
Calling him Aaron Sanchez sounds like that sketch from Key and Peele, where he's calling names in front of the class. Aaron. I know it's right. I know it's Aaron, but
yeah, I mean, if we call him Aaron, he'll just get pissed off.
By the way, I'm convinced. I did it all last season. I finally came around. I watched enough people say it. I believe it's Alcantara.
Is it?
Yep. I called him Alcantara for 2 seasons, and I finally was watching enough Miami games where I go, okay, well, they must be right. So I've changed.
Okay, well, we'll go with that then. I know when Sergio Alcantara, because that's how they call them, and that's why I just go with it.
That's what I was getting it from as well. And they were saying Alcantara, and I'm like, okay, whatever.
What, did they just drop out that A between the T and the R?
Yep, that's exactly what they did.
Right.
Again, from somebody that has a H that I'm not using, I can't point too many fingers at that. I just can't do it. I'm with you here. I like the Marlins. My problem with them on the run line is they just don't score a ton. I know they do better at home than they do on the road, but with last at bats, I'm just not sure I would throw this in as much more than a sweetener to an already pretty good parlay. Just saying.
Right. Well, the tough part is, like I said, there's so little to work with today.
I understand. It's just baseball.
Yeah.
And I believe it's a short card, isn't it? Because it's Monday. So
I think there's only 13 games.
Right. So we're missing 2, which is better than your usual Monday.
Where you get like 7 and you're like, well,
once the season really gets going, right, and you get those days off, you're going to have a lot fewer games on Mondays and Thursdays. So,
And Lick says he needs the Nats run line in the first 5, the Marlins team total over 4.5, and Aron to give up 5 hits. Well, knowing Sanchez, he can give up 5 hits in the first.
Yeah, he gives up 3 on the bus, so that shouldn't be a problem.
And a couple more in the locker room before he comes out for warm-ups.
Yep. Okay. What else we got?
We got the Astros and the Red Sox. Now you talk about 2 teams going in different directions. Houston's been on a roll the last couple of weeks. They're now 23-12. They blanked the Nationals in the rubber game yesterday by the narrow margin of 8-0. Justin Verlander with another win. And how about Justin Verlander, Scott? I mean, he hasn't really pitched in 2 years, and he's come out and he's been looks like he did before.
Yep, he's been very, very good. I haven't seen his strikeout stats, but I need to see if the velocity's still there, if he's still striking people out.
9 walks, 41 strikeouts, and 45 2/3.
So they're down a little bit because he was probably a 1.1, 1.2 per inning strikeout kind of guy, I would think.
Yeah, in 2019 he fanned 300 in 223 innings, so he was almost at 1.3.
Yeah. Okay. So, down a little bit, but those will probably come too as he gets his feel back for the pitches and everything.
Leads the AL with 5 wins.
How old is he now?
He is
38?
39.
39. Is he still married to what's her name?
Upton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an attractive lady right there. Big fan.
Yeah, Verlander's only given up 22 hits in 45 2/3 innings.
That's impressive.
Leads the league in WHIP with a 0.679. Of course, he led the league in WHIP in 2018 and 2019 as well.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. In Kansas City, we just hee-hawed about the contracts of Verlander and Miguel Cabrera when they were signed through. I think Cabrera's signed through maybe next year. At about 30 plus, and Verlander had the same kind of deal, and then he kind of fell off the cliff, and you're like, man, there's a couple albatrosses hanging around their necks, and that ended up being the case for Cabrera, but Verlander's found a second life with Houston there, and he's been nothing but good.
Yeah, Cabrera signed through next season. It was an 8-year, $240 million contract. Vesting options in 2024 and 2025 as well.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was 30 mil a year through. I was thinking it was through 2023, and
he's been all right this season though. He's hit 297.
Right. I mean,
the power numbers are way down, but
yeah, he can't run. His fielding is still okay, but yeah, I'm sure they would like to be out from underneath that contract. I think they'd rather spend that $30 million on 3 above average players.
And of course, let's not forget the horrible trade that the Marlins made when they dealt Cabrera to Detroit. They traded him and Dontrell Willis. Remember him?
Sure.
For Dallas Traherne, Burke Badenhop, Frankie De La Cruz, Cameron Maben, Andrew Miller, and Mike Rabello.
You plant that GM under the jail. Jesus.
I mean, just to take a look here in that trade, Traherne never made it to the majors. He never got higher than AAA.
I didn't even remember Andrew Miller pitching for the Marlins.
Badenhop was 20-27 in his career. He spent his first 4 years with the Marlins, went 13-15 with a 4.34 ERA, 2 saves, made 151 appearances, 10 starts. De La Cruz is dead. So that reminds me of, Major League, where cross him off then. He died last year, or he died last March at the age of 37.
Yikes. Okay.
He pitched 6 games for the Marlins before moving on to San Diego and then pitched for Milwaukee in 2011. Finished his career with a 0-0 record and an 8.16 ERA. Maben finally retired last year. He didn't really do anything of note. Spent 3 years in Florida, then went to San Diego, Atlanta, Detroit, the Angels, Houston, Miami, the Mariners. the Yankees, the Tigers, the Cubs, and the Mets.
How the hell did he miss the Royals?
I don't know.
That sounds like just the kind of 210 hitter that doesn't walk, with no power, that the Royals fucking love.
Finished his career with a 254 average. Maybe he was hitting too well for them.
Yeah, probably. Did he walk? Was that the problem? Did he take too many walks?
He had 300 and some walks in his career.
Oh yeah, you can't have that.
Miller pitched in Florida from 2008 to 2010.
No kidding.
They had him as a starter.
Oh well, there you go.
He was 10-20 as a starter with an ERA of 5.89.
It makes more sense now. Okay.
And then Mike Rabello played in Miami in 2008. Had played 34 games for him, finished with 3 homers, 10 RBIs, and a 202 average, and was out of baseball by June of 2008.
I'd like to see the WAR comparison of that trade. I'm guessing it wouldn't go well.
Yeah, I would have to say, considering Rabello's career WAR was negative 0.4. And like we said, Trey Hurd never made the majors.
Not ideal, buddy.
Yeah,
not ideal.
I mean, basically, all your WAR would come from Miller, and he's only got 7.7 in his career.
Right.
So some ugly numbers, numbers indeed.
All right. Well, speaking of trades, this is a guy, Jake Odorizzi, was a guy that the Royals used in the trade to get Wade Davis and big game James Shields to Kansas City. That kind of turned their fortunes around as they dealt Odorizzi and Will Shields, Will Myers from now with San Diego.
Jake Odorizzi.
He's been pitching well lately, buddy.
I know it's scary, isn't it? Because earlier in the year he completely sucked. He's actually, close to his FIP ERA. His FIP ERA is 3.67, so he's slightly under that at 3.38. But he's turned in a couple back-to-back scoreless outings.
Right.
Houston's been on a roll, like we said. They're now 23-12. They got second best record in the majors, I believe it is. Odorizzi, his last 3 starts, 17 2/3 combined innings, 1 run on 6 hits.
Damn impressive. In the Astros, they're really getting it done with pitching. The offense has been okay. It's been a little choppy, but the pitching is the thing that's really been good and probably the most surprising about this Astros team. They kept telling everybody, and we talked about in the offseason, that they had a lot of really good young arms and whatnot. And you know what? They do.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Garrett Whitlock's going for Boston, and, we said in the pre-show that he's probably been the best arm so far. And as you said, that's a board on the floor is the benchmark to get over. But, he's 1-1 with 1 save, a 2.19 ERA. He's struck out 34 and 24 2/3 innings. His problem is, can he go more than 4 or 5 innings?
Right. And most likely, no, he cannot.
I mean, you look at his last few starts. Well, in his starts, he's thrown 4, 3, 5 against the Angels in a game they lost in extra innings, and 3. He got himself in trouble with control in his last start. He walked 4 in 3 innings, gave up 3 runs on 4 hits, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. In a game, Boston went on to win 9-4. But I'm concerned about how far he can go.
Sure. You have to be. You absolutely have to be worried about a guy that, was a converted reliever and he's now in the rotation. Maybe he'll be stretched out in a month or so, but he ain't stretched out now. So you're going to get 5 out of him.
If you're lucky.
Then you get a Boston pen that's maybe been a little better than we thought, but they still got an ERA of 4.45 at home. So the pen is not exactly something that inspires confidence. And I definitely like the Houston pen better than I do the Boston pen, for sure.
And my question is, who's the closer for Boston? Because they've had Barnes in there. They've had they tried Brazier. I mean,
well, they had Whitlock was in for one.
Right.
Whitlock got a save.
I mean, if he's going to start, he's not going to finish. So who are you going to give the ball to? And like you said, over the course of the season, the starters are 7-9 with a 3.29 WHIP. The bullpen 6-12.
I believe you mean 3.29 ERA.
Yeah, right. 3.29 ERA, but the bullpen 6-12. Their ERA is 4.27 overall.
Brutal. That's absolutely brutal.
And they've given up as many homers as the starters.
Well, and Odorizzi, you mentioned it. He's been really good lately, giving up just 6 hits, 1 run over his last 3 starts, covering 17 2/3 innings. So you're getting a little length out of him. He's usually getting into the 6th game, into the 6th inning in most of his starts, and he ain't giving up nothing. He got shelled against the Angels, gave up a shit ton of runs in like 2/3 of an inning, and it's almost like you see stuff like that, and then all of a sudden you see a change, and you wonder if it was some sort of mechanical thing that a coach was able to catch, or something that he realized he was doing himself as he looked at it on videotape. You see him make that probably as a minor adjustment or tweak, and all of a sudden he just takes off. So it's certainly a question. Now, I will say this for Odorizzi, and I like this Houston pick too, by the way. But I will say, if in defense of the other side, Odorizzi has had his good streak against Detroit, Seattle, and Texas.
This is true.
Not exactly gigantic thumpers, but
if you look at that though too, Boston is 27th in scoring at home, which, like you said, makes no sense when they've got all that right-handed pop in their lineup.
Right. That's and that's kind of what we're counting on again tonight. So yeah, definitely like the Astros there. Red Sox haven't played well at home, haven't played well as a favorite, as you point out there in your last 2 bullet points. 0-5 as a favorite, 0-5 last 5 home games. So
haven't played well at all,
and they don't play, and they particularly have not done well lately against right-handers, just going just 1-6. So,
and like Michael said, Chris Sale and James Paxton are still out for Boston. They also miss them, and Michael Waka might be back soon. I don't know if I want to put a ton of faith in Waka as being the savior of my team at this point of the season. That's like saying Wade Miley is going to be the answer for the Cubs, or anybody's an answer for the Reds.
Well, unless the question is, hey, what's another live body we could put on the mound, then it's probably not the answer.
And there you go. I mean, I see Big Bad Brad's pitching for the Royals tonight.
Bad Brad Keller taking the bump for KC. I laid off of this game completely. It should be a beautiful night at the old ballpark, but he's going up against Lambert.
Jimmy Lambert, who sucks.
Well, no, wait a minute. I've got Lambert in one spot. I've got Johnny Cueto in another spot. What's the official?
What the hell did Johnny Cueto get signed?
I don't have any idea. I didn't see it either.
Oh, it says an hour ago, Johnny Cueto. Yep, Johnny Cueto is going to start.
Well, there you go.
According to the Chicago Tribune 41 minutes ago.
How I love you. There you go. That's the up-to-date information that you come to count on from us. Johnny Cueto, everybody.
Good Lord. How desperate are you?
He will get a nice round of applause at Royal Stadium, I promise.
I like how they say that, he was improving on a rehab assignment. He was 0-1 with a 5.17 ERA over 15 2/3 innings and 4 minor league starts.
He was improving and say he was good.
I mean, I don't even know if I would say he was good. I mean, even average, I should say.
I don't know how bad he started.
Well, this is true.
If he gave up 10 runs in 2/3 of an inning to start, and he's got a 5 ERA, yeah, he got better. I wanted to see what he did last year, what Cueto did last year. Cueto made 7 starts, or excuse me. Cueto made 21 starts last year, so he had pretty much a full season. 4.08 ERA, 127 hits, 114 innings. Yeah, nothing to get too excited about that. 1.37 whip. That's not ideal.
Yeah, I mean, if you look, he hasn't won double-digit games but once since 2015.
Yeah.
He won 18 games with the Giants in 2016 when he finished 6th in the Cy Young voting. And since then, he won 8, 3, 1, 2, and 7. So he won 18 games in 2016, and in the 5 years since, he's won 21.
Right. Yeah, exactly right. He went 4-7 for the Royals, and he'll be remembered as a hero for his postseason performances.
Yeah, now think about that. He went 4-7 for the Royals. Then he went to the Giants, won 18 games. He pitched in Game 4 of the NL Division Series against the Cubs at Oracle Park. He left up 4-1, or 4 or 5-1, and then the Cubs scored 4 or 5 in the top of the 9th to win the game and knock the Giants out, as opposed to having to go back to Wrigley Field for Game 5. And then, of course, Chicago went on to win the World Series that year.
Right.
And since then, Cueto fell off a cliff.
Yep. Absolutely. So, entertaining pitcher to watch. And I will say, after 2 horrible seasons in 19 and 20, he was better last year. Perhaps close to league average, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, he's what, 36?
I was going to say like 30-12, but yeah.
For all we know, he's got a birth certificate that said he was
Right.
born in 86, but he was actually born in 79.
Mid to late 30s, allegedly.
It's like the Benchwarmers movie where the guy who's like 35 comes in with a thing that says, I am 12.
Exactly. So, yeah, that'll be fun. So, for those of you big Johnny Cueto fans, tune in and see his White Sox debut at beautiful Kauffman Stadium.
Can Kluber ever get back to Cleveland level pitching, or is he done and put a fork in him? I think he's done.
Done.
I mean, he's had too many injury issues and everything else the last couple of years. I don't think, he's on the wrong side of 30.
I would say at best, his ceiling would be a 12-9, 3.85, 3.9 ERA kind of guy.
I mean, you got to figure Cooper's 36 too. So
yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Okay. Moving on. What do we got?
Well, now we get to go to the all the fun stuff.
Let's roll that beautiful bean footage, buddy.
Skip through all this.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Like we said, we talked about the Marlins. I'm going to take the Yankees with Luis Severino over the Orioles. I know Kyle Bradish has pitched okay for the Orioles, but it's still the Orioles. I mean, they are 9-7 at home. I'll give them that. But the Yankees are 25-9, and they like to beat up Baltimore.
Kind of their thing, isn't it?
I mean, they're basically, they're like the little brother that you beat up and take their lunch money.
I was going to say they were more like a sub, but sure. Let's go with your slightly cleaner analogy.
Yeah, we want to stay on the air, remember?
Sure.
But Bradish, he did have a good start his last time out. He threw 7 innings against the Cardinals, 2 runs, 4 hits, no walks, 11 strikeouts for his first major league win. But it's tough to beat the Yankees, especially the way they're playing right now. I know Reichel was all excited because he said it's the first time he's been happy about them in years. Hopefully he doesn't jinx it. If they lose, make sure you yell at Reichel.
Absolutely. If you're a Yankees fan, there for sure.
Yeah, we talked about the Astros already. And I like the Giants over the Rockies. Like you said when we were talking before the show, the Rockies pitching made the Royals lineup look like the Murderers Row lineup of the 27 Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
And that's saying something because you've bagged on the Royals quite heartily so far this season.
Yeah, well, they can't hit, but at least their pitching sucks. So there's that.
And Ryan wants to know what kind of dog you have.
That is he's a rescue. We got him in December of 20. Yeah, December of 20. He is a corgi mutt. We think with the barking like that, he's a like corgi chihuahua mix.
And Michael asked about the Cardinals tonight because he thinks Mikolas is their best pitcher and the Mets are going basically with a bullpen. I got to say I was disappointed with the Mets this weekend, losing 2 of 3 to Seattle. Pete Alonso, when you come up with the bases loaded in the 9th and you're down by a run and you swing at 2 pitches that are 3 feet outside the strike zone to strike out, knowing that the guy has just walked a bunch of guys, you're a fucking moron. And I don't know if you looked at the pitches, but I mean, I don't even think Angel Hernandez would have called those pitches strikes.
Nice.
That's how far out they were. I mean, one was if the strike zone is here, the pitch is all the way down here. You can't even see it on the screen, and he's chasing it.
Yep, absolutely agreed. Mikolas has been very good this season so far. Sub-1 WHIP, 1.50 ERA, 1.04 on the road. So he's been even better away from Busch Stadium.
And he's rocking the Tom Selleck Magnum PI mustache.
He is. As far as this one goes, though, I know you like the Cards here. I'm gonna ride with the Mets in this one. I'm just I think the Mets are finally starting to score some runs, despite giving up a ton yesterday with Carrasco on the mound. I think the offense is figuring it out just a little bit, and I never fully believe in this Cardinals offense. Now I know they put up 15 yesterday. I know they absolutely hammered the Giants early, but they're kind of a checker or record team. If they're not putting up double digits, they're putting up 3 or less pretty much. So I'm going to go with 3 or less tonight for the Cardinals. But I know you like the Cards there.
I don't like the Cardinals either. I mean, it's hard to back them at all. But I mean, when I'm looking at Trevor Williams sporting an ERA over 5,
I get
and
that.
a WHIP of 163, and I know that he's had issues with St. Louis in his career. I know some of that is because he played for Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh couldn't beat their way out of a wet paper bag. He's pitched against them 19 times, 14 starts. He's 4-6 with an ERA of 5.64, a WHIP of 1.613, over 75 innings. So I mean, it's a pretty good sample size. I like the way the Mets have played ball, other than this weekend. I'm just concerned with they gave up so many runs to the Mariners, who are another team that can't hit. And their pitching is going to take a toll because they had to use all those arms over the weekend.
Right.
And now you're throwing Trevor Williams because McGill's on the IL, and like we said, DeGrom's out till July. Taijuan Walker is going to, I think, go tomorrow. I think he's throwing 8 innings.
Yeah, not a lot. Yes.
And Bill McDonald wants to know, do we like the Mavs series price at plus money because they're peaking at the right time, and this is not the same Golden State team we've seen before?
What's the price on that? Have you seen it?
I have not, but I will pull it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna look too. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with somewhere around. I'm gonna take a guess and say plus 180.
Okay,
Yeah,
opening odds as of yesterday was plus 195.
Okay. Not a
I mean,
horrible.
it might have shifted since, but that's what it was as of last night.
Like I said, I was just making I pulled it out of my ass. Yeah, I don't hate that a bit. This Warriors team, when they're on, they're almost as good as they ever were, but their on periods are not as frequent as they used to be. So I think this is a Dallas team. I think this is a Dallas team that beat the best team in the West. So it's hard to argue with getting plus money on that team right now.
And on the other side, Scott,
Bill's absolutely right about peaking at the right time. They could just be hitting their apex at the correct moment.
and on the other side, Miami was going off at plus 145 to win the series. The Celtics were the favorite at minus 175.
I've got him at plus 157 at one of my sites. I will be playing that because I've been
you've been on Miami since the start of the playoffs,
lauding the Miami Heat the entire time. So I will be playing that. I'll probably get on that Mavs as well. I put it this way: I want no part of Golden State at minus 210.
Oh, is that what it is now? Is minus 210?
I'm not
saying it opened at minus 250. So
yeah, I'm not laying over $2 to make $1 on the fucking Golden State Warriors, and they could very well win as the odds predict. But no, not for me. I'm ride or died with Bill on this one, or not at all.
There you go. The Angels, I'm taking over the Rangers. I like Noah Syndergaard. The oft-injured John Gray, I think he's been on the IL as many times as he's pitched this season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not sold on him. Syndergaard has pitched well. I mean, he's another guy. We talked about Verlander earlier. You look at the way Syndergaard's pitched. Makes the Mets wonder, did we make a mistake letting him go, especially with all the pitching issues they have?
Well, and his strikeouts are down, but he's learned how to pitch. He's learned, become less of a thrower, more of a pitcher. So, yeah, not quite the guy that he was 16 to 18,
right?
But still very, very good, high quality arm on the mound. I'm a fan of that play as well.
We talked about the Cardinals a minute ago. I'm going to take the Blue Jays over the Mariners. Every time we talk about Seattle and we take them, they lose. I can't figure Seattle out. I know Ninja was talking about he's a Mariners fan up there in the Pacific Northwest. I think part of the problem is Jerry DiPoto, every time something goes wrong, he wants to trade half the team. There's no continuity there. Well, and the Brewers, Freddie Peralta, as long as he can survive the first inning over the shuffling madness of locomotive breath as Ian Anderson takes the mound for Atlanta. Not overly convinced that the Braves have figured things out. They lost again to San Diego yesterday. Their bullpen has wilted because if you look, even when they won Saturday, they gave up 4 in the 8th.
Oh, I know. I had that as a big play on Saturday, and I was beside myself as they keep that up, and then managed to rally in the bottom of the inning. So, yeah. Having said that, I'm probably not as excited about Peralta as you are.
I'm not overly excited, but like I said, we had to work with what we had to work with.
I understand. Yeah, this is a Braves team that's given up 35 runs in their last 5 games. That is not ideal, Chris. Just to your point right there, when you're giving up 7 runs a game, you've got some leaks in your boat.
Yeah, and Michael, that's true. There are a couple players for the Mariners who won't get into Canada because of the vaccination rule at the border. I'm not sure who they are. I don't think they've announced who wasn't making the trip yet. But you'll find out when you go and look and say, "Where's so and so?" Well, apparently they're not here.
He's in Seattle. Oh, what a mess. Okay.
Speaking of a mess, here we go.
Shot in the dark, and you're to blame.
I'm going to take the Dodgers over the Diamondbacks.
Really stepping out there, huh?
Hey, I put it down here. I didn't put it up top.
Shot in the dark. If you're wearing night vision goggles, I think this is.
Well, I mean, you got to figure the Dodgers didn't look good over the weekend, though. They lost 3 of 4 to the Phillies, and they nearly lost all 4.
You're right, and Mad Bum's been the one guy you can count on this team. He's pitched very well.
Well, so is Zach Gallen, but I mean, Gallen didn't get helped by the lineup over the weekend.
That's true. I forget about Gallen. Mad Bum's given up 2 or less in all of his starts,
including the one where he got ejected in the first inning.
The one where he got ejected after giving up the dinger. He is giving up some shots. I'm the other way of this.
Are you?
I'd be pass or take a spin with the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Gonsolin, but I watched Arizona struggle to score against the Cubs, and we know that Chicago's had some issues on the mound.
Yep.
I mean, they made Justin Steele look good yesterday.
Well, he looked good to start the season. Looked good again yesterday. Got the Royals plus 115. God bless you, Johnny Cueto.
Hey, I took the Royals yesterday too, and it was Daniel Lynch pitching.
Another team that pissed it away late, only to come back and win it in surprising form.
And it wasn't Lynch's fault; he was out by then.
No, Lynch pitched extremely well. Got the Rays over the Tigers. Okay.
Yep, and I'm going to look for Alcantara to whiff over 5.5 hitters. The Nationals.
Okay.
They don't like to hit the ball sometimes.
Kluber under strikeouts. Big fan of that as well.
I'm going to take the Cubs over the Pirates. I know Wade Miley isn't great, but I also saw Dylan Peters is throwing for Pittsburgh. He'll probably go about 3 innings. And, Pittsburgh's not going to win another game where they don't get any hits.
Hey, speaking of giving up some runs, how about the over up there in the mountains, man?
Oh, yeah. I've got that there. I see Galactic High asked about that too. What do we think about it? I like it. I mean, Senzatella's gone over in every start this season.
Right.
Wood has gone over in 4 of 6. And just to look at Senzatella's totals, they are, well, let's be honest, they're fucking ugly. In his starts this season, the teams have combined to score 13, 15, 13, 14, 16, and 11.
Yeah. Now, we saw this game the last time out about a week ago.
Yep.
These 2 starters went at it in San Francisco and managed to still put up 11 runs.
Yeah, final was 9-2. There was over. The total was 7.5, and they were over by like the 5th inning, I think it was.
Talk about the Braves and the Brewers over 8.
Yeah, I look and they scored. Nope. I think a total of 9 in the first couple of games last week when they met in Atlanta.
Yep.
We said Peralta's given up 10 runs in the first. That's why I didn't put a nerf fee on this one.
I think that's a correlated play there for me. If you like the Brewers, you play the over. You like the Braves, you play the under. Because the Braves, they're not going to be able to shit the bed like they've done for the last week and give up a ton of runs and win that ball game. So,
Michael Doe said Justin Steele looked like Remington Steele.
Nice. Sounds like a guy that ought to be on this show. That's the kind of reference we make. Astros, Red Sox, first 5 under 4.5 plus.
Yeah,
plus
like I said, I think Whitlock will keep them in it early, but like you said, Boston's bullpen has been awful.
Yep. Yep.
And
Absolutely.
hopefully Odorizzi doesn't decide to return to form today. He can do it in his next start when we won't talk about him.
And yeah, how about a Nerfy, buddy?
Yeah, like I said, the Mariners, Blue Jays, Kikuchi and Flexen, they've both only given up 1 run in 6 starts in the first inning this season. Seattle, like we said, are going to be minus a couple guys. We don't know who they are yet. And Kikuchi, has all of a sudden decided that he wants to look like a semi-competent major leaguer
Right.
on the mound after we talked about what a piece of crap he was a couple starts ago against the Yankees.
Well known he's a big fan of the show. So
yeah, I mean, look at his last 2 starts. He had come off back-to-back starts where you have 4 runs without getting out of the 4th, and then he threw 6 innings, gave a run on 3 hits against the Yankees, and then he gave up 2 runs on 2 hits and 5 1/3 against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium.
all right.
So hopefully, he'll build on that at least for 1 start.
Absolutely.
Or at least 1 inning.
All right, man. No, not bad for a short show, huh?
Yep. Well, I mean, we talked about a lot of stuff there.
We did. We caught up with a lot of stuff. That's going to do it for the show, guys. Monday is in the can. We appreciate you stopping by as always. Don't forget to check out all the great offerings here on the Max Wagers Network, including Chris and I. We do this every single day at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, as we talk about everything under the sun, but we mainly concentrate on
Just Parlays.
Just Parlays. You guys take care. Have a great day. Stay tuned if you ain't doing nothing, because Scott and I will be right back on the flip side right after weather and traffic on the 9s. Take care, everybody. We'll see you.